What's up, guys and gals? It is a Wednesday, and you guys know what that means. It's garbage day tomorrow. Well, actually, it's green bin day. I'm not sure. I'll have to check before I put my bin out. But it also means it's time for Kengan Omega. Chapter 283, live reaction as always. Before we get underway, 2 quick points. Number 1 is there apparently was a translation issue with Agito landing the first strike a couple chapters ago, where that panel went off and it was like, no, Gaolang actually managed to block it sort of idea. Apparently that was a mistranslation and should have been worded different. So, you know, once again, that does change the context and flow of that chapter, realistically walking or jumping into the following chapter of 282, you know, so that is what it is there. If that's true, I'm not sure. The other thing is, quite a few people have already been quite negative about this fight, and a lot of people saying that this chapter is going to be the end of the fight. I personally think we have at least one more chapter to go, hopefully 2, but, you know, once again, I think that it seems like Sandro's trying to rev up and get done with this tournament and move on to hopefully bigger and better things, but I'm just, you know, so far I've enjoyed the fight. I know a lot of people haven't. I think the fight has been pretty good so far, could be better, but without further ado, let's just jump into chapter 283, which starts us off with, looks to me like that dragon shot hit. Looks to me like the dragon shot did hit. A lot of people were saying he was going to bring his leg up in time, or that he blocked it in some way, something like that. I saw some people saying that it's going to misfire or something like that, right? Which is the classic thing, but no, it seems like we went from God Glow destroying the left forearm of Agito into the dragon shot getting full. Seems to be full on there. Gaolang's taking it. Chapter 283 is entitled As His Sword. Now, that says to me that this is a Gaolang chapter, because he's always been the sword of Ramon the 13th, right? Like, he's always been His Majesty's sword. So, obviously, this dragon shot is not the end of the fight in any way, because some people even mentioned that last week, that some people thought that that was going to be the deciding factor. Agito was going to win against Gaolang with that shot. But with a title with As His Sword, you know, I feel like Gaolang's not going down quite yet. So let's see. Gaolang struggling and... Oh... What? Okay. It looks like he's dispersing the damage. Is Gaolang using Formless? You got that, like, liquidation, I don't know how to say that word properly. The liquefying sort of style that is Formless. And at first it looked like it was coming off Agito's dragon shot, but it's almost like Gaolang took the hit and then was trying to disperse some of the damage the same way Agito does? It's just the liquid shit throwing me off. Is this him using pre-initiative? I could be wrong, but it looks like he took the dragon shot, but now he's dispersing some of the damage in some way, and boom, whoa, and Gaolang comes back with a strong left hook, just going boom, right to Agito's head. Holy shit. So he ruined his forearm. Looks like he took some of a dragon shot. I don't know what's going on there. Is that coming off of Agito? But see, some of it's coming off of Gaolang there. Are we using the whole liquid, you know, you're moving like water sort of idea to showcase Inception of Intent pre-initiative now? Or I'm not really sure. But he gets a left hook in, a really solid left hook, and Agito takes it right to the face. Jeez. And did he sidestep that? Did Gaolang just sidestep Kano's strike? No, looks like he's taken damage. Okay, so wait a minute. Yeah, because that's sort of what looked like it happened. He definitely took the dragon shot initially. He took some of it, and then it looks like he tried to dodge, or as they're saying, sidestep it, but it looks like Formless. or it's just in the style. Okay. Alright. But yeah, let's just see. But yeah, because Gaolang's not following up. Agito's sort of reeling, and Gaolang's hunched over, and he's not following up. So he took the dragon shot. He just didn't take the full extent of it, by the looks of it. And Yamagohan, that was the formless style. You're telling me he managed to copy Kano's moves in the 11th hour? So, and Kaede said, what a knack for fighting. So that is confusing. Wait a minute. So he literally, after fighting Agito, of course, in Ashura, and now after fighting him again, he's managed to sort of copy, he's figured out how the formless style works. Once again, there's been other characters who have used the formless style before, so it's not like it's unique completely to Agito alone. However, the fact that Gaolang was like, I gotta do something against this, and tried his, he used a formless style, like, wait, what? But he still took quite a bit of damage. So unlike with Agito, who can, basically dodge almost completely if you're not as fast as Gaolang. Wow, okay. So let's see. Yeah, they're both, he still took a hit, you can see it. He's huffing and puffing. They're both damaged. With the exhaustion of his bout with Arashiyama, combined with his imperfect formless style, Gaolang has taken considerable damage. Okay, we'll get back to that, and I'll finish. Meanwhile, Kano was suffering the damage from his bout with Roland, and his left forearm was shattered. His damage to the head was also severe. Okay, so it looks like Gaolang got away cleaner, obviously, but hey, wait a minute. They're saying that fight against Arashiyama was, once again, we know it was mentally taxing, but the exhaustion level of fighting to that degree, right? Being careful of the swing and all that stuff. So Gaolang was not in perfect condition, plus imperfect. I want to bring up that point. So what he tried to do then, from what I understand, sorry, that was the formless style, but it's not perfect. It was just Gaolang, the dragon shot was coming, and Gaolang was taking it, and he's like, I can't take the full brunt of this. I need to do something. So he attempted to do what he's seen Agito do before and in this fight. He attempted it, and it dispersed some of the damage. It dispersed some of it, but I would argue he took a good 60-70% of that dragon shot. He didn't disperse it all. He had taken considerable damage. His imperfect formless style, he wasn't able to divert all of it, right? So, Gaolang is a sort of a prodigy, a master of martial arts and stuff. The fact, how many times has he seen Agito use the formless style? How many times has he fought against it? To this degree, I would argue that Gaolang would be. It's like, I have no other option. I gotta just try to do what he does and see what happens. I can kind of buy that. I like that they remarked that it's imperfect. That it was he had no other choice. There was nothing else he could do in that situation. So he attempted to do something he's not accustomed to doing, just to at least get away from some of it, which I would argue he got away from 20, maybe 30% of the dragon shot's full power and damage, but he still took a lot of hits. Meanwhile, as we said, Agito obviously had a bit of a strong fight against Roland, and his left forearm is just done. It's shattered. It's gone. It took a god glow to protect his face. So, all right. So far, all right. This is good. They're both exhausted, and yet there's Agito. They both pressed on yet again. All right. Now they're both closing the distance. They're both heavy breathing, heavily damaged, and they're both just going for it again. And Gaolang, huff, and he's looking strong. His eyes are focused. His eyes are mean. And we're jumping into a flashback by the looks of it. Okay. Fighting ring, and Gaolang looks like he's taken quite a few hits, but as he said, to lose is to die, so he must have won the fight. My child, that was a brilliant fight. What's going on here? So this is Gaolang's past. You deserve much better than to spend your whole life here. Will you join us instead? We are Rama the 12th. Okay. Rama the 12th is who actually took him in. Okay. We cannot give you everything you asked for, but we will give you the opportunity. So I assume this is Rama the 13th's father. I would have rotted away in squalor, had His Majesty's predecessor not extended a helping hand. I became His Majesty's bodyguard, and then, after his passing, I was allowed to serve under his predecessor. After his passing, I was allowed to serve under his successor. He became His Majesty's bodyguard, and then after his passing, I was allowed to serve under his predecessor. That bad translation there, because a predecessor would be Rama the 12th. Rama the 13th's predecessor would be his father, Rama the 12th. So, yeah, that's a bit of a translation thing. It's his successor, is what he's saying. Is that after Rama the 12th passed, I was, instead of being thrown out, his successor, not predecessor, his successor, Rama the 13th, kept me on, is what he's trying to say. Okay. And there's Rama the 13th looking on. I am His Majesty's sword. He said this before. A duty that takes my precedence over my identity as a fighter. Okay, boom. Alright, see, some of this art is pretty solid, this chapter. I'm going to argue. Like, when they're both squaring off there, the initial opening shot with the dragon shot was good. Them squaring off, huffing and puffing, really big details on the close-ups of both Agito and Gaolang's faces. And right here, this shot of them both, rushing forward. Gaolang rushing Agito, Agito getting ready to go. And I am his sword. I will not be broken again. These are some banger lines, not going to lie. The dialogue is being focused. I like the speed lines. The art on the close-ups is good. Both of them going for elbows. Slam. Oh. Okay, see, that's the type of art I'm looking for. That's the type of quality I'm looking for there. They both slam each other with elbows to the face. Jeez. And Gaolang just looks pissed. Does the damage mean nothing to him, is what Agito is thinking. Yeah, these close-ups are good. And Gaolang seems to go for another elbow to the chin. It looks like he boom, straight up with the elbow, or was it an uppercut? Hard to tell from this. I think it was an elbow. He followed up with an elbow straight to Agito's chin. Agito's faltering. Carlos is watching on, saying Gaolang's leaped inside Kano's range. Kano injured his forearm by using it to block. Yep, we know this. Which means he wants to avoid fighting within punching range. Kano was waiting for him to come within elbow range, so that's why he's still using his left. But Gaolang saw through him and took the initiative with some hard-hitting infighting. So what we're saying is, he's actually at a disadvantage in fighting. Like, Agito right now, his best bet is to be an infighter, not an outfighter. And as we saw before with Gaolang's previous fights, outfighting doesn't allow Gaolang to use his maximum amount of knockout power either. And a guy as durable as Arashiyama or Justin or Agito, in all his fights, he's been fighting durable fighters. That his outboxing, his flash is never going to knock these guys out. His flash is never going to take them down. It'll wear them down with damage considerably over time, but they won't falter to outfighting. He needs to be an infighter. He saw that the Agito was going for that, so he switched up to his Muay Thai and immediately took the domination of the infighting, which is, once again, it might be Agito's best range, especially now with his damaged forearm, but it's also Gaolang's best range. His infighting is, one of the reasons he's so good. And then we move on. And yes, look at this. This is a beautiful panel of them both striking each other. Damn, this is scary. They're not even guarding. No, wait a minute. It looks like they're just barely missing each other's vitals. Okay, so they're boom, 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 boom. So they're hard hitting each other. Holy shit. Kano can still use his dragon shot at that range. If he can land it again, he might just clinch it. But with an exchange this quick, I guess it's not an easy for him to sneak it in. No, it won't be. Gaolang is waiting for it. He'll see it coming. No different than Agito was waiting for the God Glow. You know what I mean? These signature moves, the other fighters are more than versed and well aware of these fights. You know, these fighters' ultimate techniques. So he's sort of waiting. He brought the fight to Kano, and he is saying, all right, like, I'm just going to keep up a relentless barrage. I'm not going to give you time to use your dragon shot. And then, boom, another hard, it looks like a punch to the head. Man, Gaolang seems to be really smacking Agito around. But the art here is really solid, really good art. Fully dodging was no longer on the table. All right. So, Agito slams a foot down within Gaolang's range. Gaolang looking dangerous. Remember, this is the first man that Agito ever feared in a fight. What is this feeling? You know, and he was terrified of Gaolang at that moment. He was like, I was afraid of being hit by him. So let's go. We're seeing that same, like, desperation on Gaolang's face. His calm and collected demeanor. No. His eyes are wide. He's gritting his teeth. He's ready to fight. They could only barely avoid taking hits to their vitals. So this is for both of them. Fully dodging at this range and at this point is off the table for both of them. They're barely managing to keep their vitals safe from each other's blows. And then Sao Pang would be proud. Sao Pang would be proud. Gaolang lurches his head forward and slams with a headbutt into Agito's chin. Oh, that's a big slam. That's a big hit. Yeah, the brain is right. We've seen this before. We've seen this in Kengan before. The brain being rattled is not good. It was Gaolang who broke the stalemate. Oh, this art is good. The Thai god of war. The avatar of Garuda. The sword of Rama. Ran Kano through. Salam. Did he just... Okay, that hit... End of chapter. This is the best chapter. This is the best chapter of the fight. This is 100% the best fight chapter. The choreography is great. The art is just whoa. Like the art is definitely much better than it's been previously in this tournament. Barring a few shots, each of these shots is well shaded, big action packed, big good expressions and stuff, and just that slam. I don't know if that's a god glow from that range, but that is. The right fist of the best striker in the world just went slam right into his solar plex, right into Agito's chest. Holy shit, and he's choking on his blood. He's just, holy shit. And that is end of chapter. Okay, so, a few quick things here. Number one, the fight is not over, people. Now this was very dominating as his sword being the chapter title. It was going to be a Gaolang winning sort of the exchange sort of chapter after diverting some of the dragon shot's full capability at the beginning. And now what we're seeing is Gaolang just proving why he's a top tier. Like, gone are the days. No one at this point can deny that he is an S tier. In all the power scalers, in all the power rankings, he no longer can be considered a gatekeeper of A tier or a gatekeeper to S tier along with Wakatsuki and people like that. No. This man 100% has situated himself in the tiers of the S. He is up there. It is fantastic. And it's still not the end of the fight. It's still not the end of the fight. The way this has gone, however, next chapter it's over. Next chapter, the fight is going to end. And I'm okay with that. Because this chapter had a lot of really good shots. Just a lot of good fighting. And a lot of great art. So, was that the final blow? Maybe. I sort of feel like there's one more exchange left, and then I think Agito goes down. I think Gaolang is about to win the tournament, the real tournament, the Tournament of the Champions, and I think that this proves that if he can beat Agito in the one and only rematch we've had in the entire series. I mean, narratively, was this convenient, or was it narratively so obvious that this is what it was all going to boil down to? Sure. But is it bad that happened? I would argue not. You know, I think people just want to be shocked for shock value's sake, rather than actually say, okay, narratively speaking, these matches we've been waiting for this Gaolang Agito rematch. It was set up beautifully here for them to be in the finals together. I'm not upset that was, you know, kind of obvious at the beginning of the tournament. I'm okay that it narratively followed into that format, and boom, we have this matchup. So, yeah, 283, probably the best chapter of the fight, if not one of the best chapters of the whole tournament. That's just me. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And we'll be back here next Wednesday for what I'm going to assume is the conclusion to the fight. Chapter 284. I don't believe this is the final blow on Agito. I believe there is one more exchange where they're both exhausted. You know, maybe another dragon shot hits, you know, Gaolang, but he gets a god glow in. Maybe they exchange their best techniques one more time. And Gaolang's the one who stands up first. I have no idea, but we'll have to wait and see next Wednesday. So let me know what you guys thought. Like, comment, subscribe, as I already said. And we'll see you back here next Wednesday. Sayonara.